Welcome to Views with Hughes, your gender-free news. I'm Jerome Hughes, your host. Also, I'm here today to talk about, once again, Comic-Con in San Diego 2022. All right, so IGN reported 10 biggest things, 10 biggest panels that we can't wait to see. All right, so it includes Marvel Studios, of course, the DCU, House of Dragon from the Game of Thrones franchise, as well as the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. All right, so some of these I'm really looking forward to, and others I'm not. And one thing I am surprised about is the inclusion of Berserker. Will Keanu Reeves be there, or will he not make an appearance? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and start. I haven't read the Berserker comics yet, but I'm looking forward to reading them pretty soon. So if you enjoy my videos, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell notification for alerts for future videos, okay? All right, so San Diego Comic-Con, reported by IGN, is expecting the 10 biggest panels they can't wait to see. All right, so San Diego Comic-Con is back in 2022 for its first time live show since 2019, and it looks to feature some big reveals for the biggest films, TV shows, and studios, including Marvel, DC, The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, House of Dragon, Star Trek, and so many more. Now, as a reminder, didn't really see much of Comic-Con due to the pandemic. It was closed in person, but they also did live streams of the events, and not surprisingly, with D23, Marvel Studios was not included in the virtual Comic-Con events because of the fact that they wanted to do their own thing. All right, so they were included, and DCEU wasn't included either because of the fact that they also wanted to do their own thing by what's called DC Fandom. All right, so I watched that, and it was a bit awkward, to say the least, to be honest. And it's like, some of the things that they showed up there, I was anticipating and I was hyped for, but when the movies came out, I was more or less a little disappointed. But the one thing I did like is that how they did the Justice League for the Snyder Cut. All right, the trailer for that and how that was introduced. But that was back in 2020, okay? So SDCC will take place from July 21st through 24th, and IGN's live show will take place on July 22nd and 23rd, which is this weekend. Okay, so they'll be speaking with different casts and creators of many of the shows and films that's being featured there, and provide the up-to-minute breakdowns for all the show's best moments. Now, I'm looking to watch it live stream, and if you want, I can also go ahead and do a watch along. So that way I go live and stream live, and then you all can comment and I can read all comments, or as many comments as possible. Okay, so I'll leave that up to you all. If you want to see watch along and you want to watch it with me, go ahead and comment below. Okay, so there's going to be so much packed into this one weekend, and we're here to help by highlighting 10 of the biggest panels at the show. Okay, so we're going to start with the show that's called Inside Severance. It's a series from Apple TV. Apparently, it's about a gripping and fascinating story of a world where science has found a way to literally separate your work and personal life. Okay, and it's created by, it was produced and directed by Ben Stiller. I never really watched the show because I don't have an Apple Plus subscription. All right, and most likely some of the stuff that Apple TV may have to offer, I might not be interested in it. Just like Amazon Prime or Prime Video. Okay, I have a Prime account, but I'm not really interested in what they have to offer. Okay. So the series has been renewed for a second season, so that way people will learn more about what it has in store. Okay. So then there's also the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. As a reminder, Rings of Power is not actually Lord of the Rings, but it just came from the appendices of the Lord of the Rings novel. Okay, so this is supposed to take place in during the second age, after the first age, which ended after Morgoth have suffered defeat, and he was cast out into into the darkness. Okay, so this is supposed to be picking up after that apparently in Independencies. They also have a few characters that's a part of the canon, and then there's also some made up characters. Okay, so I'm not going to be watching it, but I will be seeing the trailer just to see about how much is actually being shared. Now, from the last trailer, that teaser trailer that was released before, we did see a one clip that looked to be like the destruction of Numenor. Okay, Numenor being the star-shaped island that's near Valinor that was given to the people who were the men of the Middle Earth after helping the elves as well as the West defeat, as well as Valar to defeat Morgoth. All right. So this may give a look onto how Sauron rose and came into power over Middle Earth. All right. So it says here, The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power is one of the most anticipated shows in quite some time. Now, I seriously doubt that, because there's like if you go onto any YouTube account on any YouTube account and you watch the trailer for yourself, you will see most likely that it has been ratioed. All right. In a future video, I'll go ahead and share that with you as well. So it's hoping for it to be one of the biggest as well for Prime Video. So Prime Video has shared that fans will get an exclusive early look ahead of its September 2nd release date of the panel. And also fans will also get to see cast members Morphy Clark, Charles Edwards, Rob Aramayo, Benjamin Walker, Ishmael Cruz, Cordova, Charlie Vickers, so on and so forth. Okay, it's a bunch of names up here of people that's going to appear. All right. So it's supposed to be about, like I said, the second age, not the third age or even the fourth or first age. Okay. But they do have some things that depict it, but at the same time, it's not really Tolkien-ish. All right. People were expecting for it to be like Peter Jackson, but just to let y'all know, from the costumes as well as the different graphics and the visual effects, it's mediocre at best. All right. Then there's also Marvel Studios animation. This is for Marvel when it comes to what's going to be on streaming on Disney Plus. All right. So as you can tell from this clip here, that's Wolverine. So they're going to have what's called X-Men 97. So it says here, Marvel is back at San Diego Comic-Con for the first time since 2019, and it's kicking things off with the panel focused exclusively on its animation projects. Marvel Studios head of streaming, television, and animation, Brad Winderbaum, head of visual development, Ryan Maynarding, I'm not sure if I pronounced that last name correctly, and unannounced special guests will be sharing exclusive looks at X-Men 97, Marvel Zombies, What If Season 2, and more. So most likely we might have some people returning as the voices of some of the characters to come back, like the voice of Jean Grey, for example. Because in case y'all have known, in case you all haven't known or anything, the one of the many voices had passed away. Okay. So with that said, they're looking to see to kick things off. All right. And then there's another show called The Alternate World for All Mankind. It's a season 3 of a sci-fi show that's also on Apple TV Plus. Okay, so it's created by Ronald D. Moore, Matt Walper, and Ben Nadivi, and also executive producers will make an appearance. All right, and then Berserker, created by Keanu Reeves himself. Okay, so there's a comic book. It's a comic book about where Keanu Reeves had created. So it says here, Berserker is Keanu Reeves' comic book writing debut, and he will be part of the panel at SDCC alongside series co-writer Matt Kent and artist Ryan Garney, screenwriter on the Berserker film. Wow, I didn't know they're going to have a Berserker film coming soon. All right, so Boom Studios editor in chief Matt Gangan, Boom Studios executive director Eric Harburn, and Boom Studios president of development Stephen Christie. They're going to be there making an appearance. So can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. All right, so it says here that they'll be moderating the panel that will give an exclusive look at the final issues of the. Wait, what? The final issues of the. I haven't even started reading it. What? What you mean? The series and a tease of what's to come for the half-mortal, half-god warrior that battles through the ages to discover the truth behind his endless, blood-soaked existence and how to end. You know what? I'm sorry, but the final issues of the series. I mean, what exactly do you mean by that? I mean, I haven't even started reading it yet. I mean, is it like? I've been interested in it, but it's just that, like why is it ending so suddenly? I mean, feel free to comment below to explain why. And then there's Warner Brothers, the DCEU was, as it says up here, Warner Brothers theatrical. It's going to include the possible trailers from Black Adam and Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which is a sequel to the first Shazam movie. Okay. So Dwayne Johnson and Zachary Levi is going to present and share why the hierarchy of power in the DC universe will change. So for those of you who might not have known, Black Adam is in the comics. Black Adam and Shazam are enemies. Okay, so Black Adam is an anti-hero. He's being played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Zachary Levi plays Shazam. So it's interesting to see how that's going to play out in the movies or how they're going to present it. So we may also get another glimpse of DC League of Super Pets, which is the animated film, which will be released in theaters on July 29th. And many will surely be waiting for new details on The Flash, especially after the legal troubles dealing with Ezra Miller. Now, will he be replaced or will it continue? Will he still be the Flash? Because it seems to me so far Warner Brothers has been defending them, but if they are defending him, they're not going to defend him for much longer, especially with the allegations that's being held against him with women as well as underage teens. House of Dragon from the franchise of Game of Thrones. Okay, so it's coming. It's been said that it's supposed to be a prequel to the Game of Thrones on HBO, and I'm pretty sure they're also going to have a sequel for Jon Snow. All right, so House of Dragon is coming to San Diego Comic-Con ahead of its premiere on August 21st on HBO. All right, so House of Dragon will have a panel that will reveal more about the return to Westeros 200 years before the events of the Game of Thrones. Okay, so it's like I said, a prequel to Game of Thrones. And the panel is going to feature co-creator and executive producer George R.R. Martin. He's one guy that the fans are really mad at because of the fact that, there was another story that's also contributes to Game of Thrones series where he's supposed to write a novel about, but no one really heard anything about it and stuff like that. Okay. So it's going to take place, supposed to take place 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones. That sounds kind of familiar, kind of like another franchise story that's supposed to take place 200 years before certain events. Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim. I'm looking forward to that, and it's supposed to be an anime version. Takes place 200 years before what happened of The Hobbit. Okay, so many people are looking forward to that, and instead of the Rings of Power. I mean. And then there's also the Star Trek Universe panel. The Star Trek Universe is an ever-expanding, and San Diego Comic-Con will give fans not only a look back at everything that has come before, but also a tease of what's to come. So most likely they might introduce a tease of what's going to happen in the next season or so. All right, so it's also going to include the cast and executive producers of Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Lower Decks, and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So I don't see anything up here about Star Trek Discovery. Interesting, but Lower Decks also supposed to have been bad. Like a lot of people hated that one as well, along with Star Trek Picard. But me, I've never really been a Star Trek fan because it's like I couldn't really get into it. Okay. And then there's also the Sandman special video presentation, questions and answers. So it's another new DC Comics series that's going to be on Netflix. And this one I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be interested in myself. And then Marvel Studios, the MCU, pretty sure it might be what will be expected for Phase 5. Now, I'm going to make a video about Phase 4 of the MCU and everything, and it's pretty descriptive. So here it says what very well may be the biggest panel at San Diego Comic-Con 2022 is the one we know perhaps the least about. Marvel Studios will assemble at Hall H, and as its president and producer Kevin Feige and special guests provide an inside look at the ever-expanding Marvel Cinematic Universe. Despite us not being told what would be at the show, we still have a pretty good idea at what's coming in the months and years ahead of the MCU. So I'm going to be honest with you all. I am not really looking forward to much of what has to be offered in the Phase 5 of the MCU, okay? Because of the fact that the Phase 4 didn't really have seemed like it didn't even have an idea. All right, it just, at least in the first 3 phases, it all led up to the events that took place in Infinity War and Endgame. All right, but this one didn't seem to have a direction to it. It also says, now that Thor Love and Thunder is out the way, we will soon be treated to the I Am Groot shorts and She-Hulk Attorney at Law. As we get closer to the end of 2022, we will be treated to the reported Untitled Halloween special, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Some of these I'm not really looking forward to, but I might give the Guardians of the Galaxy a try. But if it's not live action, it's most likely going to be animated. And I guess. But anyway, Ant-Man and the Wasp on Quantumania and the return of Jonathan Majors Kang. Oh, so they're actually going to have Jonathan Majors Kang in the movie. Okay, so I guess the rumors have been true. All right, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, is it going to be a trailer or a teaser at least? Don't know. We shall see. And it will kick off the year in February before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and the Marvels arrive a few months later. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm looking forward to as well. Just, I'm not as hyped about it as I was before. But I'm going to have to skip the Marvels, all right? Because it's basically about Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. And I didn't like the Captain Marvel movie, and I just skipped out on Miss Marvel because of the fact that, some said that, it's just it's kind of like the 80s, the things you saw from the 80s story, like story-wise, the storyline itself seemed like it could have been from a show from the 80s, which is not woke, anything like that. But it's like, the way it looks and comes off, it seems like it's something for the teenagers. All right. And I'm going to leave that with them. All right. So these previously mentioned projects are only the ones we have specific dates and don't include Secret Invasion, Blade, Fantastic Four, Loki's second season, and so many more. All right, so they're just limited on a few things, and Kevin Feige just might discuss what's going to happen in Phase 5. Some of the things I might have an interest in, others I'm gonna have to skip. or just take with a grain of salt. All right. So if you all enjoyed this video, feel free to like the video and share it, and also comment where I might have went wrong. Also subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell notification, and I'll see you all for the next video. Peace.